probably just my character, to be honest.
Okay.
I've always been one of those people who don't give up easily. And even maybe just to throw back on my background, as we were talking earlier, you know, throughout my journey, I've never been, I actually call myself almost like I'm a number 2 person.
You're a number 2 person.
Yeah, I've been number 1 sometimes, but
Yeah.
I'm generally a number 2 person. So when I did my A-levels, what I omitted to say is that I actually failed my A-levels. I passed 1 and I needed 2 to go to university. So I actually worked for a year at the Ministry of Education. I was the first Black African in the Ministry of European, Asian and Colored Education. And we were the ones who
we did have those departments.
Yes, who merged the two together.
Yeah.
But looking back, I think it's what these young people today call the gap year. So I worked for a year and studied and passed and went back to university. But throughout university, then every holiday I used to work. So already by the time I finished university, going into the workplace, I already had 4 years experience in that.
Yeah.
So that was one, again, advantage. When I'll give you 2 other examples. Yeah. When I was applying for my master's degree, this is late 80s, I was at the ZTDC, and I applied British Council to do a scholarship, get a scholarship to go to UK. I did not get it. I was a reserve, number 2. They said to me, if somebody drops out from another, even another country, then we'll let you in. For 6 months, I followed up every month. Any dropout, no. Any dropout, no. And sure enough, there was a dropout in September, and I went and ended up going to Surrey to study my master's. British Airways, row 3 years on. British Airways, I was working for Zimbabwe Sun at the time. A job application comes in the paper. We're looking for people with these qualifications, and I think I suit this. I applied. They wrote me a letter, and they said, you didn't get the job. And then in the same letter, they said, but also your application was late. And I said, my application was not late. I remember the deadline was on a Tuesday at 12 noon. I walked into British Airways at 11:45, and I handed in my application. So I picked up the phone and I phoned the general manager. And I said, my application was not late.
Resilience.
Yes. And by default, I was now having an interview with the general manager. And so she said, she actually went and checked and came back later and apologized and said, okay, sorry, you didn't get the job, but you were not late. A month later, she phoned me. She said, there's now another job for sales manager Zimbabwe. Would you like to come for an interview?
Wow.
And for me, that defined the rest of my life, that particular job with British Airways. Okay. And if I hadn't picked up the phone and said to you, your letter is lying, I did not, So I think those little nuggets in life to say, sometimes don't just accept no. Sometimes accept maybe. And fight for that maybe. And it goes back now to my Mbano journey. So it wasn't just the door is shut, let it go shut for good.